I don't want to do that thing like the cult leaders do, be like, if the stand-up's not working for you, it's because you don't believe enough in the stand-up. But it is kind of true. My worst nightmare is like a really long status report with like lots of PowerPoint slides, and you don't even actually know what's going on at the end. Lots of big words. That's a nightmare. Status reporting should be really regular and really practical. Like, here's the status. Here's what I need. Here's what's blocking me. Like, it should be about moving forward. In Agile, there are meetings. You do have to go to meetings. But the idea is that they should be really quick and really valuable. So instead of having lots of big meetings, we schedule a little meeting every morning, first thing. We call these little meetings stand-ups because ideally they'd be so quick that everyone could do them standing up in a circle. Bam, 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 bam. So the worst feeling in a project is feeling like you can't progress things, you don't really know why, or you do know why and you feel like it's someone else's problem and you don't really know how to broach it. So spending as little time in that state as possible is a good thing. So if you're struggling with something, ask for help. Daily stand-ups are a really nice way to keep doing that little by little every day, calling out how you're going, what's blocking you, what do you need to keep moving forward that day. A stand-up meeting will work like this. Everyone will get together at an agreed time. There will be a facilitator to make sure that everyone is there at that time and that the meeting runs smoothly. Facilitator will get everyone started for usually a 10-minute meeting, a fixed amount of time. In that stand-up, each person will go around and give a status update, and that should take 90 seconds per person. So the facilitator will point at each person and ask them for their status update. What they've done, here's what I'm working on. They will say if anything's blocking them, what is blocking them, what is slowing them down, and what do they need. An example of a stand-up for a coffee cart might be, here's my status update. Yesterday, I organised the coffee cart. Today, I intend to sell the coffee. However, I'm blocked because I don't have any beans. At that point, what you don't want to have to happen is a big conversation about the beans. What then you'll do as a facilitator is go, okay, cool, this cart is blocked. You'll keep going around the stand-up and someone might then later call out, hey, I'm blocked from getting the coffee beans because I need approval for the payment. So if the cart can't be done, you need to unblock it. You will work out how to unblock it, whether that's getting some payment for the beans, finding another supplier, whatever, offline, but you know you need to unblock it to keep moving forward. Every person in the project team will call out their status, progress. So you're not giving big detail about what you did. You just said, I did this, I'm doing that. And then really the most important parts are blockers and asks for help. We make them transparent to everyone, but we don't go into the detail of how we're going to then solve these problems, just that they're problems that need to be solved by tomorrow. So we finish a meeting with a clear sense of what's blocking everyone, what everyone needs, and what everyone's committing to by tomorrow. I usually thank everyone, have a big round of applause, high fives, and then we go and get some work done. It's the anti-meeting meeting. It's not a long meeting where we talk about solving problems. It's a quick meeting where we call out problems and we agree that people can solve them on their own. What we try and do with stand-ups is be really disciplined about what we're talking about and how long we're talking for. That's why I always use a timer, no more than 90 seconds, and I'm always really clear about we're not going into detail of solving problems, we're just calling out whether or not those problems exist. What I often do with stand-ups when I'm facilitating them is really try and put energy in the room. So what often I'll do is if everyone's in the same workspace, I'll play like a power song, usually like Eye of the Tiger, and by the time that song is finished, everyone needs to be standing up in a circle in our stand-up zone. So there's none of this like, hey, so-and-so, You're still checking your email, you're still checking your phone. Oh, no checking phones during stand-ups. No. The really hard thing about Agile is commitment and discipline from the team. You have to all commit to the process and you have to all show up for the process. That means showing up for the meetings. Of all the meetings, people probably struggle with stand-ups because it means they have to come to a meeting every day. You just have to do it. So common in projects. We wait to see if a problem's really going to be a problem, and then by the time it's a problem, we're embarrassed about the problem, and then we try and hide the problem often, and then we just rock up and the work's not been done. Agile is about preventing that and about calling out when we think we see problems or blockers early so we can get help, so we can come together as a team to put our attention on unblocking or moving forward a task, getting that person who might be having a struggle what they need as quickly as possible, or calling out as well if you don't even know what you need, but you know that you're being slowed down. Stand-up's not about solving the problems, it's about saying, I'm really stuck on this, and giving someone else in the team an opportunity to say, I'll have a chat with you to try and help, or I'll do something to help you progress that today. And then you can go and have a big powwow, a big conversation about how you're feeling, what's going on. And usually in conversation with a teammate, you'll really discover what's really blocking you or what you really need. But actually the act of saying, I'm stuck on this, I'm slow on this, it's a relief. It's not an embarrassment. That's the kind of environment that I really want us to see in Agile, is that instead of being ashamed that things are difficult, we're actually excited to call out when things are difficult because we know we're going to get help and we know we're not going to get blamed because life is complicated. So what I like about stand-ups is that you get to surface things that could be a problem really fast so that they don't become a problem. So I remember at St. Martin's we were running a festival with a bunch of young artists and they were doing these amazing theatre productions in all kinds of crazy places. And some in the toilets and some in the park and some in the backstage of the theatre. No one on the stage, right? Of course. And so it meant that our venue manager had to really build out all of these different spaces with lights and cameras and everything in places that they weren't meant to go. So it was a huge job for him. It was great that every day he would be just reporting back on what he was building out that day. And I remember this one morning, Matt, the venue manager, said, okay, I'm going to build Joanna's work in the garden today. And then one of the artists says, hang on a minute, Joanna's just got a new cast member and this cast member is a wheelchair user. So if you're going to build it in the garden, you're going to need to smooth over those pebbles and get some kind of a ramp so that she can physically access the stage. And Nick was like, good point. To which I knew that there was going to be a bit of scope creep, so I had to take some other things off the list for that week. One of the advantages is that everyone can see what everyone else is doing so that they can constantly be taking that into consideration with the way they're actioning their tasks that day. And it's great because you can know when to offer help. You can know if someone's got a resource that you need, like so-and-so's borrowing the van today. And you can also just kind of have that visibility so that you don't have to ask questions later or be wondering if someone's working on something. You've done a stand-up right when everyone has had a say, they've been really quick, when no one said anything unnecessary. So often a stand-up could happen that everyone says, I was working on this, I am working on this, there's no blockers, and I don't need any help. And if everyone says that, cool, your stand-up can take 2 minutes. Otherwise, a stand-up works really well when someone calls out something that is blocking them and we just go, great, I can help you with that, let's talk about it later. So the rituals we have about stand-ups and the rules about how we have to speak quickly, we have to call out blockers, we have to ask for the help we need, help to depersonalize this. So they help to make it less about me and more about the job that needs to get done, which means that I don't have to be embarrassed asking for help or saying I'm just stuck. And I love it when I see people in the team go through this, because there's a sense of relief and there's a sense of we're never struggling alone. There's always someone there that's got our back. The great thing about a stand-up is if I'm having a problem, I know that tomorrow morning I can call it out and I can get the help I need. So I don't have to sweat on it for a week or a month, or I don't have to escalate it to a boss or something. I can just say, so-and-so is blocking me on this, and they can go, whoops, sorry, I'll get that done today. And it's done.